Hello, this is the Brothers Love One. This is a storyline reading for the Menendez brothers, Lyle and Erik. They murdered their mother and father back a lot of years back, and they want to be released from jail, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So, yeah, I don't know for sure if the hearing happened yet. I saw something go down my computer feed one day, and that's how I know that much. So I asked God, and God said, yeah, do a storyline reading on these two men, because they are men right now, but at that time they was young, okay, young men at the time, right? So I'm going to do the storyline reading for the brothers, and let's just see how it goes. This is for May 2025, okay, murder reading. Okay, so let's just see. So I did it yesterday, but when I pressed the button on my computer, I made the whole video go away, so I had to do it all over. Okay, so you're not going to hear me shuffle the cards because I had to go and look for all the cards again that I had used. So let's just see. I'm trying to see where the beginning was. Bear with me. Bear with me. The first one. Okay, this is the first one. So this is going to focus, the stack you hear me shaking is going to focus mainly on the father and the boys, okay? At that time, they were young men, okay? So, okay, the first card is that the brothers didn't value others, and the others would be their mother and father. But they also felt like their father and their mother didn't value them, okay? How much would it take for the boys to leave? At that time, they was young. The young men to leave. To the brothers. I'm just going to call them the brothers, okay? To leave. To embrace nature, right? So it says right here that they love money. But how much would it take for them to leave? Okay? So we have morally, their father know that it was wrong what he did to the brothers, his sons. They had heartfelt tears back then from what their father did to them. They would give a penny for their father's thoughts at that time. So their father was posing as what he wasn't, a good father, while they were seeking refuge at the time. Their father took shots to tear down their self-esteem, okay? So they wanted sensitiveness and softness from their father. So they was going to be strong, tough, and handsome, and know when to make the right moves, because they decided to make some moves to murder their parents, okay? So if it hurt them, they wanted to voice it, right? So they decided they was tired of their father's crap. They didn't want to put up with their father's crap any longer. They were both beautiful dreamers. So their father was a serpent, and they was going to take baby steps in dealing with, in their thinking, dealing with their father. But did they even want any help, God says? Because they could have called the police whenever the abuse was taking place and got their parents investigated, right? The problem was they were too nice at the time, where when this was happening to them, actually when they were getting abused, they didn't reach out. So they was resistant to hold their father accountable at the time he was abusing them. So they decided they was done right? But they decided their father was done. You're done. We are not true friends. They felt like they wasn't true friends with their father. They didn't love their father any longer. And they decided their father was going to be done. They weren't going to die with their father. They was going to, because they felt they still had life to live and they was going to live their life. So, one of the brothers, whichever one it is. So I'm just going to say both of them names because it's two names. So Lyle was going to show in his actions that he didn't love his father. And then the next one is Erik. He did something by a certain date, right? Whatever date it was, right? Where things was going to start to change. Follow me? Because they wanted to bring more happiness in their life and gather up the world. And the gathering up the world can't mean you get along with everybody. But right then they wasn't getting along with their loved ones. They wanted to be able to get along with people outside of their family. Or maybe they did. Their father was treating them, controlling and like an animal, dominating or whatever, and they was tired of bowing down to him. So it was markers that showed that their father was dominating to them, or they was tired of dealing with their father, and they see it now. They saw it at that time. So it was sacred at the time, but they decided that they don't care no more as far as their father. Okay, so one of the brothers was opinionized whether or not the other one was work worthy. That means, are you willing to do this job as far as murdering the parents? Or we got one of the brothers had a job at the time or was going to get a job, anything like that. One of the brothers was going to get happy, or both of them, because they decided that their father was going to be gone for good, or one of them was going to be gone for good if they get a job or anything like that. Because they chuckled about this thing, either getting a job, one of them, or that their father was gone. Was their eyes telling them the truth? They got splashes of joy that their father was gone, or that one of them got a job, okay? They was going to open up something that was going to be juicy, something to drink, or opening, loading a gun, murdering their parents, made blood be everywhere. So if you want to call that juicy, I guess you can say that, or whatever, or just they was drinking something, whatever it may be. There's going to be fearless. Universe, speak to me, lead me to my way. There's going to ask God to lead them to their way after they did what they did, because they wanted to focus on themselves now. We got 37. Somebody come in 37, number 10, number 3. Okay, let's flow. Number 7. So, religion and its effects it left on them. They could have been a religious family, I just don't know. Or just the rules that their father put on them. Was they simply a follower of a religion that they follow? Or the rules in the house, because they was in an era of living that was unique. They had a sixth sense. And that would mean intuition, or just a decision that they made that they was going to make this move. There's going to make no more excuses for work, as far as one of them working, getting a job, or as far as them doing the work. And the work would be murdering their parents. That's called putting the work in. Follow me? One was going to work harder as far as having a job or putting the work in. That means murdering their parents. Follow me? So we have, no longer will they be silent. They was banking on each other, right? That it was going to be easy. Every day wasn't a good day for them. The brothers, they had a blank look on their face. One didn't want the other to have cold feet or to get cold feet, because they wanted a peace treaty. They wanted to be treated equal and fair by their parent, by their father. They was learning how to get themselves from under their father's thumb. And they was going to start relying on themselves and speak on it. So we got God's number of grace, number 52, number 25, number 2, or number Yeah, number 7. So it was tension because they saw things in black and white. Because they're thinking about there's abuse and things like that, and they decided they're going to murder their parents. But they should have looked at things in color. And that is, let the police handle it, right? They felt chained to their parents, to their father. They was like a magnet to their father. They was coupled off with Satan, and that would be their father. They wanted peace at that time. So we have that, they was followed by their father. To gain is to lose what needed to go, and they felt like their father needed to go. Right? So, how to fix this? They was chilling after they murdered their father. And they was trying to figure out how they're going to fix it, what story they're going to make up. Because they was intellectual. Maybe their father was tearing them down, complaining, talking down to them and things like that. Animalistic to them, controlling. Okay? So, it was competition as far as business, or just as far as just living in the house, right? Or as far as a job they had at the time, one of them had, or both of them had, or just dealing with their father home daily life, made people rethink when they had forgotten things that they need to change and see. So they was pricing what? A weapon, right? And it was going to butter both of them up. Follow me? So we have, they was going to show that they can build their future, and they was going to cheer on their fortune. Because if it was any kind, it says in that card that one of them or both of them love green, right? So that means money. So they're going to cheat on their fortune. So some kind of way they're going to get some kind of insurance money maybe. Because one was working hard on a job, whatever day of the week, or working hard on the plan to murder the parent, right? The father, right? So to cleanse their mind, one of them need to cleanse their mind, or both of them, because they're acting doofy, like they didn't know what was going on. So they blamed it on somebody else, I guess, first, and then maybe they confessed because they're acting doofy, like they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what happened. So we got the insurance card right here. So they wanted to sow a seed of non-doubt that their parents was dead, right? And that's what they did. They made sure that their parents was dead. And it might be some kind of insurance money. Because it might have been a job that one of them had that was at least 10 miles away, a job offer, or we're going to look at killing the parents is what's considered a job offer, is killing the parents. Because that's like what you call a hit, right? Because if they was getting insurance money as far as their parents, and they was going to kill their parents, and they would get that insurance money, right? Because it was neutral as far as work. They didn't want to argue about anything in the brothers, right? Let's not argue, right? They was not going to be, let me say it right. They need to beware of any distraction. They weren't going to let any distraction come in their way, because it was neutral as far as work. It was a job offer some kind of way that was long, at least 10 miles away or wherever it was, but they was focused on making money and getting some money, and the insurance money would be theirs from their parent. Okay? So they was like the hitmen, and the money was sitting there for them. They was going to get paid that money. Follow me? The insurance policy. So the parents was mellow looking at TV or whatever, and these two was anxious, right? They asked one another, are you ready? So the parents could have been looking at something that was old on TV, old music, old commercials, old whatever it was. Movies, whatever it might have been, or they might have listened to some, I don't know. But we have right here, a warrant was going to be coming for them. and they was going to reside in front of a judge where they was going to be tensed up and nervous. But they felt justice was well served, murdering their parents. But bread was required, so they was going to get bread, and bread was required for a lawyer, or they was going to get bread from the insurance company. Follow me? The insurance policy. Because they had to lay down beside their father, and their father had money, was a money machine. Okay? They was overprotective as far as where they lived, right? So they felt like they were a blessing, but they don't even like them. Their parents, they felt, didn't like them, but they was a blessing. So they was a blessing as children, right? Before this time and right here, before the time when they murdered their parents, they was a blessing. Okay? When they was getting abused, when they was getting abused, they were a blessing then. They were a blessing then. But once they murdered their parents, they no longer was a blessing. Okay? They felt like their parents didn't like them. And because their parents the father was doing things up against them and the mother was going along with it, or what was going on with her, it felt like she didn't like them either. They was devastated. So something was suspenseful. So at that time, their parents needed to have God's bubble of protection around the parents at that time, and needed to seek the range of God because they didn't know what was coming. They was looking at TV. But at the time these brothers was getting abused, they needed God's bubble of protection around them, and they needed to seek the range of God whenever that might have been in their lives. It wasn't that day. Okay, they wanted joint custody from their mother or from their parents, period, to care for them and love them like they should. But it didn't happen. Okay? One of them needed to stop feeling scared of his feelings, or the other brother told the other one, don't be scared, because he never felt like that before. And here's the father. They wasn't having protection from their father because their father was the abuser. My father is abusive. Okay? That's what it says, right? So they decided they wanted their father liked the grandstand, and it wasn't kosher. So it was a mystery to all that their father had all of these demons that he needed to confront. But when these brothers murdered their family, both their mother and their father, they became the monster. They became a bigger monster than their parents was, right? It was a mystery to all that these brothers had all these demons inside they needed to confront, right? They need to ask themselves why they even stayed, forcing themselves to deal with the hurt, because they could have left. They could have gotten a car. There's always a way out. They could have gotten a car, if they had a car, and just rode out of town to another place. Nobody was holding them hostage. They could have just rode off and went somewhere. Children run away at 10 years old, 12 years old, 15, 14, 17, all kind of ages. I'm sure, right? Number 19, or number 9. They were sugarcoating and trying to stitch things as far as maybe trying to make up some story. I guess on what they was going to say, I guess to the cops. When the cops came after this, their soul was crying out for a conclusion as far as their parents. They was crying out at the house at whatever time it was, whenever that might have been. Okay? They took shortcuts, whichever way, to be able to, like that. Let me put this right here. Their soul was crying out for a conclusion. They was crying out at the house. Their father was taking all kind of shortcuts as far as abusing his sons, because he was fixated on their sexuality. He looked at them as easy. They was like the lone wolves, right? Okay. So we have Their father was considered a dangerous love, a man they cared for, but he had a lot going on. There's unconscious living. So we had the next one is they decided that they was going to go ahead and begin. But God wanted both of them to put the brakes on things. Stop. Because they looked at I'm saying it wrong. I'm so sorry. Let me see. They blamed their father. So opportunity struck and they got ready. But God wanted them to put the brakes on things. Wanted them to put the brakes on it. So we had one brother to the other brother. One brother hooked himself on. And he might didn't ask everything he needed to ask. Okay? You hooked yourself on and ran from your problems. It is easy to leave things to others and escape. So one brother did more talking or more planning than the other brother. It's like one pretty much was like a follower. One of them was like a follower, and it was one main one. Okay, so they decided both of them to put their parents' lights out. I mean candle out. I'm sorry, not lights. Their candles out. That mean their lives. Get what I'm saying, right? So they had certain kind of clothes on at that time period, whatever they had on. And it was a meeting place. And the meeting place was either to go purchase the weapon or standing in the house murdering their parents. Right? So we had this last card. It's pension time, where it's going to be money in a mailbox. So I'm going to put this with insurance money, right, in the mailbox, right? So they was going to murder their parents and get their parents money. Okay, so we got this right here. This is the first one. So we're going to go with the mother. Okay, this is the mother. I don't know what their mother's sign was. She could have been adventurous like a Sagittarius. I don't know. They wanted to checkmate with their mother. Because parents shouldn't walk away. So their mother kind of walked away and might have knew what was happening and wasn't really doing anything to help them, maybe. Will they ever know who born them? Know her deep down inside? Because she just didn't seem like she was trying to be there for them. Okay? She could have helped, but she didn't seem like. She didn't move her saddle. She didn't make the move she needed to make. Okay? So we have one of the brothers might have a daughter right now, you know, as being an adult, might have a daughter. Let me take this out and put this down here. Okay. Strike that one. Okay. Because we still dealing with them being young over here. So let's see. They was trying to keep their dignity, but their father was trying. They was trying to keep their dignity, but they wanted their mother to let them into her world because she evidently wasn't connecting like she should. So God says right here, what is the cost of a life? She didn't really do what she needed to do to protect her sons. Can we really be friends? So they felt like we really couldn't be friends. She felt like, strike that. The brothers felt like they couldn't be friends as far as with their mother, so that's why they murdered her also. Because they looked at it as she wasn't there for them. Because she would be considered their princess, and finding that princess, they felt they would win their mother. Because they saw their mother plenty of times, but she really didn't help them. Because it says they wanted her to take down the walls for love, care more, help them, or whatever they wanted from her. To cheer on their achievements, to look at them and see who she's proud of, right? Because they was wonderful. So they needed a blessing from God at the time. So we have, it was a sinful place. So the house was considered a sinful place at the time because the father was abusing the children at home. And the father moved on it fast and did what he did without a cause, and that was molest the children. But if I take it to the sons and their crime, they moved on something fast, and what they moved on was committed manslaughter as far as against their parents, because they felt like they got to drop their parents because they was tired of their parents, both of them. They wanted to get away from the thieves because they looked at their parents as thieves. Okay? They're going to come in their own defense because they know the truth. But they felt like their mother didn't come in their defense. So where did they get their behavior at? Thinking it's love, the parents, to mistreat them like that. But then where did they get their behavior at? To murder their parents. So they did something strategic. They weren't going to be scared of nothing. It's obvious they weren't going to be scared of anything at that time. So they rose to the occasion given to them. Right? No longer will they be filtered by their father, their mother, or nobody else, because we got a protection card right here. Okay, because their father needed to get help for his addiction, and they wasn't having protection from their father at one point in their life. Their father was tearing them down to build himself up. Okay, so there's penny pinching, and it was real. So they was looking at their father and their mother was not worth the cause and not worth any more of their time. So they clarified, both brothers, that choosing themselves first was the best choice. Because if they penny pension, they kill their parents, they're going to get the money, life insurance, right? So we have right here that they need to get more sleep to become more energetic. Or some kind of way one of them was had something in the system. So we have freedom was calling, but will they answer freedom and seek everything in it? So freedom was calling for them, and freedom was to murder their parents so they can just be free to do what they wanted to do. So they wanted to create their miracle wisely with the insurance money. So we have right here one of them. They don't have to be these signs you hear me saying, but Virgo was venting for a move to be made, and the Sage made the move wisely, chose and made that move. So they don't have to be those signs, but one brother said whatever and the other one did whatever he did, because the brothers felt like they was going to justify that their parents didn't care with them or care about them. So they chanced it and they chose to murder their parents because their father was somebody of service, a parent, and their mother was too, right? They felt like they was being deceived by their parents, follow me? They had hatred for their parents and they put their parents' candles out. That means their lights out, their life out. They was choosy about going to another place. So maybe where they when they got the guns, they might have went and bought the guns from some place where it might have been in a county or where they might have went, or they just was choosy because maybe they was going to decide to just move away and get out of town. So one was some kind of way, maybe their father was down in them or their mother was down in them. Anytime they asked for money or asked for stuff, or one of them might have been taking some kind of drugs, pills, or whatever this is, right, with their card. They felt like their thoughts counted. Why did they didn't want to allow themselves to be molded any longer by their parents. So let's just see. Okay, let's just see. Maybe one of them eat a certain kind of way back then, ate a certain kind of way, or was asked about his eating. We got number 7. Something could have happened 7 o'clock. So the ingredients was charred as far as the parents. That mean burnt up. That mean they had hatred for their parents. They didn't care about their parents. Their parents was as good as dead. They hated their parents at that time period. They was charred. Okay? So we have right here that they need to heal their souls by coming forward. Because they lost their family members. And that would be both of their parents. They had to become groomed to what God created them to be at birth. Because they was molded. They was going to let their sounds be heard loud and clear. While calming their pain, they was walking a thin line. So they're going to fill their spirit with a clear vision, what they planned on doing. Right? But God wanted them to go a whole nother direction. Okay? But they chose the devil's direction. They felt they had skills. They was ruined there. Living there with their parents, putting up with their parents' crap and everything else. They was tired of it. Their parents couldn't buy them and convince them of nothing. They had their mind made up that they was going to murder their parents. So we have right here, or we got one of the brothers at the time had a job that he was going to leave. And maybe his boss was trying to keep him there, right? And he was dealing with his billfold some kind of way. Follow me? He was going to keep his cool because he had unstoppable energy, or both of them, right? So one was going to refuse to stay in that puddle because it would keep them wet, maybe a job, or just dealing with their father, asking God to lead them to their path. But they should have asked God. They didn't ask God, right? They stayed still, stagnant, and they stayed still at their house when they really should have just left. Answer their burdens, and they should have just left and dropped the X. The X would be their father. They should have just left and went to a whole nother city. They was big enough to do that. They was big. They need to proceed with caution because they had a builder path. So they wanted their needs met, and it was abuse. So they stuck them around and they murdered their parents. But their father wanted his needs met whenever that was. He abused his children, whenever it even was. But they wanted their needs met at that time period right there to murder their parents because they was going to get insurance money. They needed to be that runner and put their everything in, their feet, hand, body in, and just get away from their house and just go out of town somewhere, just go somewhere else. Because God said, what was life to them? What is life to you? What is it? Because right here, they don't care nothing about life, right? They pinpointed it and they complained. Something happened between 9 o'clock a.m., 9:30 p.m. Okay, they felt like they was wishing for a good decision, but they felt they was hand in hand with the enemy. They had no more time for lack. They didn't want any lack. Are they Italians? They don't have to be, but anyway. So we have right here that they was going to see it with full eyes because they felt like their father wasn't going to disrespect them. So during nighttime, some kind of way, one of them might work at a club or work at a job or something like that, or by them murdering their parents some kind of way, they was going to get some big money. Follow me? They was going to aim high enough and just enough to murder their parents. At that time, they needed to filter their ways, right? But they was thinking about how their parents tore their emotions down, right? So they was branched off and zoned out because they needed to try to appreciate their mother at the time, but they didn't. They zoned out. But they felt like their mother didn't appreciate them. So we got numbers 46, 58. Their parents wouldn't know the cause of their anger, or they didn't know the cause of their mother's anger, why their mother didn't protect them maybe. But they need to do things in decency, God says, because one of them or both of them thought it was laughable some kind of way after whenever it was, some kind of way, before that night was over with. They was had a coping mechanism. Their parents was isolated, didn't even see this coming. Okay, so we had one of them that Mike was working at a job that he was tired of, that he really was tired of, right? And he felt like this would be the end of his money problems. No more blaming things on money problems, because he wanted to soar for wealth, one of them, right? But he needed to let Spirit and God say, boom. So we have number 21. They could have been 21, or we just got number 3, number 12. Okay, it was a war zone because one of them had a relapse, or the father repeated something, or one of them had a relapse, right? So we have, okay, because their father did plenty of good, maybe in the neighborhood or at work or whatever. People shouldn't keep the father up in their wrong, but if nobody knew the father was doing whatever, you know, they can't keep him up in his wrong. So I feel this card is for the brothers, because they did plenty of good, or because they say they was molested or whatever happened. They can't be kept up in their wrong because they murdered their parents. That's what happened on their journey. Okay? Okay, so that's both parents you heard me talk about right here with this set. Now let's go with the present, because they grown-ups now. Okay, so I think it was a hearing, or it's going to be a hearing, or anything like that, but let's just flow. So which one is this? Let's see what this is. Okay, so we have one of the brothers, both of them, or whichever one. I'm not used to dealing with two people at one time like this saying, but I'm just going to say the brothers. It's one of them, or it's both of them. I just don't know. Okay, so somebody asked for a female, or one of the brothers asked for a woman's number, some kind of way, right? Whenever it was. Whenever, since they've been in jail. She could be a Capricorn sign, an Earth sign person, or whoever she is, she might have a child by this brother, anything like that. Well, it was a lack of control out of the child or out of this brother, because he murdered his parents. Okay, he wanted this lady to be strictly his, whoever she is, so he might have asked for her number. What is she going to do about it? Or he got a child. If he might have a child that's a daughter that's out of control, and maybe the mother is wanting to know what the father going to do about it, but if he in jail, he can't do but so much. Okay, she saw the cat, and whichever brother this is would be the cat. He's a man, right? So we have, she dolled up for a date, that is just dress up or whatever, to go see him, because he is hers and she belongs to him. Okay, let's go for a walk. Hold me in your arms at jail. Some kind of way she went to jail to see him. Tick-tock, time going by. Thinking about the softness of her or of him. Okay, after we move in, then what? Are we divorced or playing house? So some kind of way going to the jail, playing house somewhat, right? Okay, or it might be a divorce some kind of way. Let's just flow a little bit. Let me just see. So we have maybe a lady that want to be taken out, but he's in jail. He can't really take her out. I love you, but I don't want to be used by you. I won't be used. Take me to dinner and a play. She might want to go out, but he can't do anything. He in jail. She want what she signed up for. So we have dealing with the court, the jail, or whatever. Let's just say. Okay, he living a plantation way of living, not having enough love or money. Okay, he's saddling her down to be his lifeboat. Well, she's saddling him down to be her lifeboat, however it's flowing. If he had children by this lady, he misses children. So we have, where is yours? This is a money card. Where is yours? So if it's, maybe he need to send some money home if he make money at jail, or let's just say, because this is 11 for a cause, so we can take this as the jail loving him for a cause. They got him for money. They make money from him being there. Or we can take this to the other meaning. Another meaning to it too is he holding on to a lady for money because she taking care of him. When men be in jail, they need somebody to help them some kind of way. Are you ashamed of me? So, are you ashamed of me? When are you coming home to my heart? I miss you. So we have right here that he's in jail, so he might be saying to the lady, are you ashamed of me? When are you coming home to my heart? I miss you. When she gonna come and visit again? Okay, or something like that. Are you ashamed of me? Because he feeling detention time away from her. So she met him straight, but she not obligated to take him back gay. So he might be gay, whoever this is, whichever one it is. Okay, so we got an HIV card right here, or it can just be just a regular disease card, okay? But it is an HIV card, right? Okay. The lady feel like her life matters. My life matters. Know that. She want what she signed up for, right? What business is of you all's? So this is the brother feeling that way, right? Might need vitamin C, him or the female. So we a couple for more than just sex, right? Somebody got a blister or some kind of sexual issue. So if somebody got HIV, that's a sexual issue, right? The truth gonna be gotten out of this story otherwise, right? So if it's not HIV, it's a regular disease. Follow me? Because something didn't happen in the jail, right? So let's see. Need to eat. Let's see. Whoever it is need to eat some healthy food. You want to do some kind of prayer. Want the female not to run from the love, because he had heartfelt desire for her. So he want romance. I want to talk business to her as far as romance and to stay with him some kind of way. But she got to be the best queen she can be in this situation. And she going to have to accept it. And she got to try harder in love or in business. Because right here, he wondering if he can trust her, but she wondering if she can trust him. But God telling him, don't hurt nobody, don't hurt this female. Because something's plain and simple. He been covering all his bases. So we have right here that he might be married already, or he might want to marry this female with this card. This is a ring card from a man. I'm ready to love you. Okay. She see it now, whatever she need to see about him, or he see something. Could be a water sign, a Pisces, or act like one. She need to be aware of what he did. Okay. So he had feelings that grew fast like grass for whoever this female is, or she did for him. But she shouldn't be blinded by the love of him, or he shouldn't be blinded by the love of whoever this female is. So he want to sit down some kind of way and have sipping like where you sitting down and eating like in a waiting room. You know, when you go in visit somebody at jail. So he dwelling on maybe the female, she a Gemini, act like a Gemini, or he might be a Gemini, or act like one, or just somebody who act nice one time, act not nice the next time, whoever this is. So we have that somebody needs some new shoes, but he shouldn't settle for the okie doke, or the lady shouldn't settle for the okie doke, because he might say he needs something, if not shoes, something from her. So This is a school card, but it can go for other things. So I'm going to make this to jail for right now, because prison is a learning place. Might as well call it an institution somewhat, right? A place to learn, right? A school. It's not a school, I know, but you need to learn your lesson there. That's why you go there, right? He antsy at jail, I'm going to say, right? So he might like music or this female. So this is a racist card, though. Black is beautiful, so I'm going to see how I can work this. So he might be dealing with somebody in jail who he having a problem with racially. Okay, or whoever this lady he talking to, or whoever this is, right? So it's ring time, so we got ring time again. Maybe he want to give a ring, or he did give a ring, or he married to the lady already, whoever this is. So here's the trinket, there's the ring. We got it back to back with this ring. So we have his eyes lied about the connection between him and whoever this lady is, or her eyes lied with the connection that she has with him. So he want her to invite in the warmest love of all, but she wanted that at one time, right? So she want to be treated like the queen she really is. So he might be getting high. If he not getting high no kind of way, he got anxiety or something going on emotionally with him, where he might have to get some kind of help for it. Okay? So he is going to be the cheerleader of his own life, or this lady he hooked to need to be the cheerleader of her own life. Might be around something green and flowery, from clothing, curtains, tablecloths, outside, inside plants or whatever. So we have like a witness that saw something, right? Saw him somewhere in jail, because we dealing with them as adults right now, so we dealing with jail. A witness saw him somewhere in jail, or we got a witness who saw the female somewhere, wherever she was seen, I'm sorry. A person who you put them on the stand, they would tell the truth. Okay, his budget plummeted, or the female he hooked to. So some kind of way he going to the hospital and going to say thank you, or the female he hooked to, right? Either she a wife, or he want to marry her, or whatever's going on here. He banking on her so he can check his credit, because when you're in jail, you have to have some kind of money to work with. So she is looking at the positives with him, because he got to check it past, because he murdered his parents. So we have numbers 1, right? 5, God's number of grace. We got bills, tabs, accounts, different things is being ran up some kind of way. A lot of money been being spent by her, as far as like giving money, putting money, giving money to him, or whatever she been doing to keep him afloat in jail. Okay, because she get hugs on base conditions from him, because he a person that's incarcerated, right? So it's going to be consequences. Will she leave him and make him an ex? Okay, because we have right here that he was gay since his school age or childhood, some kind of way here. Okay, I obligate myself to you. Take a right turn if you plan on doing me wrong. So she feel like she obligate herself to him, but he's saying that he obligate himself to her. But she feel like, if you're gonna do me wrong, just go the other direction. So she want jointness with a trailblazer. So he looking like he a trailblazer, because he's somebody who is high profile. He murdered his parents. So trailblazer, he's somebody who stands out, people know about. But it says that he a player, right? And she's searching for love. And a player is a man, we know, that talk to more than one female, right? More than one person. So we have he need more but not doing enough to let me see. He need more but not doing enough to make it happen. Let me see. He had to stop thinking others know more than him. Okay, so here it is right here. He want her to drive in his direction, and he will be waiting. So whoever he is, you know, he is, whichever one of these brothers it is, maybe some kind of way he want to marry somebody, or maybe he already married somebody. But if he got some kind of disease, he need to tell this lady. Especially if some kind of way, if in the jail they let you be together if you're married. Because with some jails they let you be together if you are married. Or some kind of way. So if you have a disease, you definitely got to tell the lady, because her life matters, and that's a fact. You didn't think your parents' lives matter, but her life matters, and she's saying it. Know that. Okay, so we're gonna go to, I think this last one is like the hearing. Okay, let's see what this one. This is like number 6. So he's dealing with a building. Don't want no smoke, don't want no trouble, a building. So this building would be like the court, or we dealing with the jail. Because the jail want to go full force and grow their business. And that is to keep him in there if they can keep him in there, right? Because they pick people in the order of, right? They deal with the masses, right? And having consideration for the masses, because they are a resource. They got information, right? And we got the blue-eyed brother, that is the cops. So he getting patted down by the cops, and that is when you go in the courtroom, you get patted down, or whatever happens back there before they even bring them out into that courtroom. Okay, so we have right here honorable time. And date is going to be set some kind of way to be able to go to the courtroom or hearing or whatever. Beware the poker faces. So he's going to have to beware the poker faces, or they need to, as far as the brothers, right? Because they smelling a scent of success. Follow me? Because they smelling a scent of success. It come in many colors that they going to... Probably they get out, they make a movie, they do a book. Success means something special, right? So somebody wish they can be like a fly on the wall to find out what's going on. So we have right here, it's going to take a miracle for them to not be a felon. So I guess to get them out of this, right? Because they fell in detention time. Because they want now life to be like it was before they murdered their parents. See, they want to change things around as far as they want to be free. But I don't know if they want it to be where their parents not murdered. They just want to be free. So I just don't know if they want to take that back, the murder of their parents. They just want to be free. Get what I just said? Can it be like it was before they murdered their parents? Right? They insisted on a period of time, tell me with a support group, the hearing, anything as far as that, in an office where they wanted to be sweet. They be sitting at the table some kind of way. Follow me? It's going to be pros and cons. They don't want no smoke. They don't want no problems, no trouble. Being in the emotions, being sensitive. So the judge, what you call it, the board, or whoever these people are, going to move fast on it and make whatever decision, because it's tension afloat. We got number 2 here. Okay, because they want to stop loafing around and change house and get out of the jail, because they want to go home. And they thinking about jobs some kind of way, and I feel the jobs is making movies, making books, and things like that. Okay. They want to stop loafing around, delaying, installing of things, right? So a speedy tongue lashing some kind of way. So it don't have to be a real fuss, but just some talking happening some kind of way between maybe them and the board members or whoever it is, right? Maybe some kind of disagreement some kind of way. So What is this one? They saying, believe what you wish. I made a change. Believe what you wish. I made a change. I'm making a change with my life. So they might don't feel like they made no change. They might feel whatever they feel. The board or whoever it is who decides whether or not they can go home. Some kind of way, something like that. Because it's unusual dealing with a spectrum. Because they feel in a lecture, and a lecture would be a meeting, a hearing, the court, or a court hearing, or whatever this is. Because they want to feel that adventure. Copyright. They want to feel that adventure. Because maybe the court system going to say they need more time. But maybe the brother saying they want the court to give them some space. That means let them go home. But this could be the court system on this side. No, you need more time. Right? So this could be a lawyer. Blank stands. Was this be a lawyer? Let me see something. Okay, it could be a lawyer, or it could be a judge. It could be one of the judge saying what stands. Blank stands. Like, I just said this right, so let me take it. They might be saying they want space. They want to be able to get out and go home. And we have somebody, whoever it is in there, the judge or whoever making the decision saying, no, you need more time. And so whoever the person is might be saying no. The answer I gave stands. Get what I'm saying? I heard that before. The brothers want the court system or whoever this is to think about it. Think about it a little bit. But they heard that before. They don't want to hear it again or whatever, right? So they're going to be themselves. They might be dealing with old birds, or they old birds themselves right now because they older now. We got number 19. I think one of them was 19 at the time. I don't like saying things wrong. I think one was 21 and one was 19. So those numbers came out in the storyline. That's amazing. There's a 19 on this card. I think one was 19 and one was 21. Don't have to be, but I think I saw that in the news. But it's going to be that self right now. We talking present. They old birds right now, or they dealing with old birds as far as whoever they trying to get to make it where they can go home. So they want to make a pocket full at work. So with the jail system, they want to make a pocket full at work. So pretty much they want to keep them in there because the jails make money. That's the bottom line for everybody that's in there. Okay? But as far as these brothers going home, they want to fill their adventure and make a pocket full as far as some money. Right? Fulfill their copyright and make something happen. Movies, books, or whatever they want to do. Because it's going to be big. It's going to be big. If they get let out, it's going to be big. And they're going to be able to make whatever money they want to make. But it shouldn't be like that off of their parents dying, killing their parents. So something that's on the cell phone, some kind of information on the cell phone that might help in their case, or they want to help in their case, whatever it may be. So they want to pay attention to their visions and their dreams, what they had planned out. Okay, because they half good and half bad, like the Gemini. They was half good, but then they was half bad. They was half good, but they was half monster. As far as what they did to their parents. Okay. Was they molded, or are they molded right now to a religion right now in their life, or just a set of rules by leaders, right? Are the leaders their God? Got number 4. The next one is, do not refuse the help that God sends them to lead them to their path. And they had to look at their life and do they see any progress from last year. If not, they got to ask themselves, why is no progress? So we have right here is a transport of infection some kind of way. Or that's romantically, or by like colds, COVID or anything like that, or romantic, right? Or we have that a transporting of drugs. Somebody might take drugs because they take medication, or they might take drugs because they just take drugs. Or somebody might sell drugs, right? I don't see a lot of money cards, so I don't want to take it that way. Okay, so let me see. Oh yeah, I suppose it is this the last one. So I feel like they saying it's gonna stand. It's gonna stand because they want to get out. They want to get out, but it stands because they need more time. But they feel like they want to be given some space. But a lot of people want to get out, if that's the case, out of jail. Newsflash, there's a lot of people in jail that want to come out if that's the case. A lot of people. They want to fulfill their copyright, their adventure. They want to come out and have it and make some money. That's what they want to do. But the jail is fulfilling their copyright, and that is like holding on to them and doing what they feel like the courts want them to do, and that is hold them inside to receive their punishment for murdering their parents. Because their mother wasn't supportive, and she might have knew about whatever was happening, but their father, he did the molesting or whatever he did to them, and what their father did to them is not bad as what they did. What they did was take their parents' lives away. They took their parents' lives away. When during the time period back then, they should have just went to the law and told the law. Instead, they decided to plan something out, go get guns, buy guns or whatever they did, ammunition, guns and all, and planned it out to the T. I'm shocked the mastermind card didn't come out because they planned that thing. The parents looking at TV don't even know what's coming and shoot their parents like that in the back where they can't even, they don't even see what's getting ready to happen. And then you want your parents' money though, because you feel it'll be the end of your money problems. So we got one of them that's the leader, and the other one is the follower. One is the leader and one is the follower. You heard what I said, right? Dealing with a spectrum is unusual. Okay, so we have, let me take a little bit more universe for the brothers. Give me maybe 20. Okay, they had deep feelings inside. One of them had something on the skin, or back then they did on the skin. Freckles, dimples, burns, scars, eczema, whatever's on the skin, moles. Okay, the death of anything that did not serve these brothers, they was going to put an end to. I said it wrong. They was going to bring a death to anything that did not serve them. Anything that killed their hope and their emotions, they was deep in their feelings, okay? Okay, they had plenty of ideas for their fortune because they was going to get the money, insurance money, so they was going to make their parents disappear without a trace because they was going to blame, or they did blame somebody else, and then they admitted it, that they did it. They planned it, okay? They felt like, well done, they did well. We got 103, so something could happen January the 3rd or March the 1st. What? Or something back then. They wasn't going to postpone an active action. Okay? So they wasn't going to take from their main floor to drive there. So they went to buy a gun or whatever they did, but they wasn't going to take all the money they had. They probably had a certain amount of money that's going to take to go buy the gun. Okay, it's a sure thing. We got 23 or 30, 32 or number 2 or number 3. So both of these brothers were starving for power at the time. They had to make sure that they were adults and don't just look like adults, because it could fool you. So they look like adults, but really they was very immature in what they did. They clapped back and felt like, I'm going to clap back. And they decided that they was, their parents, they was going to be done with their parents. You're done now. But I don't think they said anything to their parents. I think they just went in and they did what they did. They was looking at what was ahead and looking at that they was going to be go-getters. Okay? They wasn't dealing with simply the average Joe Blow with their father. Their father was a certain kind of way. They were scared of their father somewhat. Okay? They felt like it was their turn to rise. It's your turn to rise. You know they cheating. So they felt like with their parents was cheating them out of the best life they could have. So they felt it was their turn to rise. So they was energy seeking. Now this is a racist card, so I don't really know how that's in here with them. Let me just flow for a minute. Maybe just go with one of them as far as in the jail system, because it's a racist card, so I don't really know why. His parents the same race, so their parents the same race. So I'm gonna put this with the jail system. Somebody was energy seeking as far as maybe one of the guards or them kind of people there. Correctional officer maybe, who might be black. And one of the brothers was going to see it for what it is. Or something like that. Because that's a racist card, so that shouldn't be over here with the parents, okay? So it was harvest time for the brothers. Because they've been there. As far as their parents cheating and treating them however they felt like they wasn't being treated the best way. So they decided that it was their turn to rise. And it was harvest time. So they was going to get their parents' insurance money. So why cheat when you can just get a divorce? So this is a cheating card, but I'm going to work this like I just did the other one. God saying, why cheat when you can get a divorce? Cheat would mean, why murder your parents? Why murder your parents when you can get a divorce? That means go run away, or whatever you had to do, go leave your home. I said it wrong, go leave your home. Why cheat? Why cheat your parents out of their life and just cope with it? Go somewhere out of town, or wherever you had to go. Just leave the home, leave the town. And that would be considered getting a divorce. Making division come between you and your parents. Just go ahead and leave. Separate from your parents. Cause the division and just go out of town or go somewhere. Why cheat your parents out of their life? That's what God's saying. I'm turning the card around and just cope with that thing. Here it is. I told you. I'm shocked a mastermind, because I told you this is a mastermind. They mastermind this thing. Here it is. Here the mastermind. There's a mastermind that created a shock wave for the parents. Mastermind that thing, playing that from A to Z. Something needed to be signed. And you got to look at it 3 times if you got to sign something as far as jail or anything like that. But we can even take this with the insurance policy. Something has to be signed and you're going to have to look at it 3 times at least. Or we dealing with some kind of cameras or something back then, or signing to get the gun or whatever it might have been. Something was looked at 3 times, needed to be looked at 3 times before signing. Or you might have shot your parents 3 times or whatever this is, or something was on camera, or something as far as court you want to hit the sign. Okay, so I'm getting ready to, I'm getting ready to end it now. I did a lot. Let's see. I think I went over 20, so let me just see. A lot of people want to come out of jail. If that's the case, they feel like they've been in there long enough and they want to come out. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. If that's the case, a lot of people want to come out who did something wrong. You was vengeful. Both of you was vengeful towards your parents. It say he is there. You saw that your father was there sitting in the living room. We got he 2 times. You had it in for your father. He is there. And you felt like your father was a vengeful kind of person, but you was vengeful. Here it is again. He beat me so much. So you felt like your father beat you, if not physically, raping you or whatever your father did. You was holding on to love or caring or whatever for your father. You had deep feelings inside, dealing with something judicious. Okay? Try me if you dare. So your father was a threatening type of person, I guess. Maybe you was going to be eating something. You and your brother. You was pinching the surface of a thing. Okay? So, do you play a part? Strike that. Do you think you play a part in all that happened to you? If the shoe fit, you gotta wear it. So as far as you getting not molested, but going to jail, you did that. Okay, so you lost yourself, but no more. It was okay to let him or her go. This person gonna always know you love the person. So with this right here, so if we have one of the brothers, your woman leaving you, or she gonna leave you or something like that, or did it already, is okay. You're gonna always know that she loved you, but she had to just go and live her life, something like that. If it's a brother right now in jail, or as far as back then with your parents, during that time period, you cared about your parents, but you lost yourself, you felt like back then with your parents. You're supposed to speak into the millions God's words, but you didn't get to speak God's words to the millions. But your story is out there with a million people that saw, at least a million people or whoever that saw your story so far. So your words have been spoken to the millions as far as your story being out there. Okay, so you're going to be the extension to your child or your children if you have children, but your parents supposed to have been an extension to you to take care of you because you are their children. They treated you like trash and had you on a ledge, but you treated your parents like trash and you had them on a ledge, right? So we got a rape card. So if your parents raped you some kind of way and you wanted to know if it was your fault that your parents raped you, or some kind of way we got something happen to one of you in jail some kind of way, and you want to know if is the rape your fault because you was raped. Follow me? Somebody in jail might have treated you like trash and was on the ledge about you. Follow me? So you had to believe in God's word, not man's word, as far as, I guess, going to a hearing, trying to get out of jail or whatever this might be. So we have, when you was young, knowing, you started to see that you had to love you first and never stop wanting the best out of love. So you rose to the occasion to do what you did to your parents, to not postpone an active action because you're just going to start to love you first. So we got one brother, other one is a follower. One is the main one, and then the other one is like the follower. Comfort is key. As far as I like hugging you. Comfort is key. As far as in jail, right? Because we got a female or one, or whoever this is, somebody, wife, twin flame, wife or somebody who like one of the men in jail, right? One of the brothers, right? So you're calling too much. Work ethic. So some kind of way, maybe you calling to see where she at, or she calling you a lot, or you calling her house a lot, or whatever. You might want to know it's taking her so long to come visit you, or anything like that. Or you got a job in jail some kind of way, and you got good work ethics, or you need to get good work ethics, or anything like that. Or you dealing with somebody that's black, as far as what you call it, correctional officer who don't have good work ethics, or whatever this is, right? Or back then with you and your brother, you was going to have good work ethics, because you repeated it to your brother more than one time to make sure he was on board with you, and he don't change his mind. So this card says that you was feeling your feelings, and you was going to go get your feelings. So back then you was feeling your feelings, and you was going to go get your feelings. That means you was going to release what you felt like on your parents, both of you, and that's what you did. Mastermind that thing, right? So one is a follower to the other one, but both of you did what you did, but one still is the follower, okay? So I'm gonna leave it at that. So it seems like with the court system, they feel like you need more time. So far, time gonna stand like it is for you. Because if you have life in jail, you shouldn't be trying to get out when you murdered 2 people. We have people who killed 1 person and they get life in jail, and you murdered 2 people and you want to just come out of jail because you want to live your life like you want to out of jail. But newsflash, there's a lot of people want to come out of jail and live their life too, and do this and do that. I didn't see any apology card in here, Lord. I didn't see no apology card. Did you ever apologize? Oh, that's right. You can't apologize because you meant to do it. That would be a lie if you sit and said you sorry to anybody in the press or anything. If you ever say you sorry, that's a lie because you meant to do it. That's why you did it. The thing is, you shouldn't have did it. You was wrong, and you shouldn't have murdered your family, your parents, the people who brought you to here in this world to even breathe any air of God's. Your parent might have raped you or whatever happened, but still, that don't give you the right to murder your parents. There's no reason to murder anybody. There's no reason to murder anybody. So yeah, you were starving for power. You and your brother at the time. Your father back was turned. You planned it out, and you planned it out because you was going to get that insurance money. You want to be free and live your life and do what you want to do and have your parents' money to go with it. Don't have to deal with your parents. Blame it on somebody else, but then it ain't go that way. It wound up being where you had to confess. Because your father ain't just raped you that night. So there was no reason for you to murder your father and plan something out. Big as you two were, there's no way your father should have been raping you at all. Because you really should have left the house. Children run away at 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, so you didn't have to stay there. You kept yourself there. But then you had the bright idea, one of you, to murder your parents and say about you was molested. or raped or whatever. But your focus was, that'll be the end of your money problems because you had a job you was tired of anyway. One of you. That'll be the end of your money problem. No more blaming things on money problems. Ensure that your parents dead so you can get that insurance policy. The insurance card came out. Be free to just live like you want to live without your parents around. But you should have just left. My thing is, people need to just leave. Just leave if you got a problem with somebody. Don't murder somebody, then you want their money on top of it. You're going to murder somebody, then you got nerve to want their money. No. Like you want to get out of jail right now because you want to make some kind of money deals. Movies, books, or what all you want to be making. No, it don't work like that. There's a lot of people want to get out of jail. If that's the case, they need to start opening the doors for a lot of other people to get out if you get out. You got people who didn't mean to kill somebody, who killed somebody, and they got life. And we got you two that meant to kill your parents on purpose. You meant to. You got no business walking out of the doors because you didn't give your parents a second chance. But you feel you want a second chance. You feel your life important, but you didn't feel your parents was. Similar on what I said. You didn't feel your parents' lives was anything. They didn't even deserve to breathe. But you ain't want to get them a second chance no kind of way. But you want a second chance at life. Get what I just said? To come out and live your life and do what you want and make money still off your parents though. Because it's going to be off your parents. Because you it's going to be because you murdered your parents. I didn't see any apology cards. All these cards I brought out. What both of you need to do is apologize to your parents. And apologize by saying, I don't know what you call your father and your mother. Daddy, mommy, I don't know what you call them. Mother, dad, or whatever. In your cell. If you got to say it in your mind and not out loud where people hear, say it inside your mind. Dad, mom, I shouldn't have did what I did to you. Because they in the spirit. I shouldn't have did what I did to you. I was wrong. You don't have to say it where people hear you. Say it in your mind. Because you in jail, so you can't be saying certain things and all because, people think you crazy or whatever. So just say it in your mind. You don't have no privacy where you can kind of be able to say different things. Like I'm sitting here and I can just say whatever out loud. Yeah, it's time. It's time for you to tell your parents that you shouldn't have did it and you was wrong. It's time because you haven't done that. I didn't see any apology cards come out, but I feel you didn't do it. You telling the press anything, as far as you sorry, don't mean crap. The press didn't get murdered by you. Your parents did. So don't tell your mother and your father you're sorry because you're not sorry because you meant to do it. Because that would be a blatant lie. Just tell your parents that you was wrong for what you did and you shouldn't have did it. If you're so upset about being molested, raped, or whatever happened to you, you should have went to the cops, whenever it was. Your focus was you're going to base it on that you killed them and get this money. And that's not acceptable. Because you could have walked away. Both of you was big enough, old enough to just walk away, go skip town, go somewhere. So no. This the Brothers Lyle and Erik here on YouTube. This is for May. If I got it right, I think it's May. Or was it? I think it's May. Yeah, this is for May 2025. This is for the two brothers. Menendez brothers who murdered their mother and father back then a lot of years ago because they said he was raped or whatever had happened by their parents, by one of their parents, or their mother stood by and watched or whatever. Whatever it might have been, it didn't happen that night. So if it didn't happen that night, it was no reason for them to be doing that. And if it did happen that night, it still was no reason for them to do that. So you need to pay the price because you took your parents' life away. The parents who brought you here. This the Brass Love One.